Hi all, welcome to TechFest Java. In this video, we are going to discuss about one more important design pattern, a creational type of design pattern that is called builder design pattern. So, firstly, we will just check about what exactly the builder design pattern is and where in what business scenarios we can use that builder design pattern. So basically builder, as the name suggests, that the builder design pattern is used to build the object of the class. But which type of classes and which type of object it is used to build? Whatever the complex object of the class we need to be build it, we can build it by builder design pattern. I'll take one business scenario where we can use the builder design pattern to build that object of that particular class. Suppose we have one class, one model class, and which having around 200 fields like first name, last name, father's first name, father's last name, mother first name, last name, their address, permanent address, then a temporary address, then phone number, alternate phone number, email ID, alternate email ID, and so on. So around 200 fields are mentioned in that particular class, and out of these 200 fields, there are only 3 to 4 fields are mandatory. And if we want to make that class as immutable, so that each user can identify it uniquely and no one can change that their values at runtime, so we can make it the class as immutable. In that case, we need to define all the 200 classes as private final. And if we define these classes as private final, we have to initialize into a constructor of that particular class. The problem with this is that we need to define the 200 classes, pass that as a parameter into a constructor, and then after we are able to define it. Unless there are 4 to 5 fields are mandatory and other are optional, we can define it at the time of creation of object in constructor or not. In such case, builder design pattern comes into a picture, and it will help out to create such complex object without using an optional field. It is totally optional that we can use it at the time of creation, or we can initialize it after that. So let's just take an example of account. We all know that when we are opening an account, there are a lot of fields which are mandatory, and there is a more than mandatory fields which are optional. So we will take few fields for that. We are just defining few fields as like private final, string first name, private final, string last name, private final, string email ID, private final, string mobile number, and one more field we are taking private final, string alternate mobile number. So firstly we will understand which fields are mandatory. We are making it. This field we are consider as mandatory, and this field also we will consider as mandatory, and this mobile number we will consider as mandatory. Email address we can consider as optional, because email address is not important at the time of account opening. We can make it and then after we can update it. So for suppose we are taken a small example of 5 fields where 3 are mandatory and 2 are optional. So For making an object of account class, there is a difficulty that as you know that this fields are all the fields are defined as final. So when we want to create it, we need to initialize all these fields. If we want to create an object of this field using a constructor or defining a constructor, we have to initialize. We do not have any option to do that. So to avoid such problem, what we can define, we can create one account builder class, one internal static type account builder class, and in this account builder class we will define all those fields which we have defined here, but whatever the optional fields are there, we are not making those fields as final. So by this concept, what happened? Now we are not bound to give the values for these fields when we are creating an object of account builder. So what we will do? We will create a one private constructor, and in this constructor basically we will pass only the mandatory fields. So let's just pass all the mandatory fields. Okay, and let's just initialize those fields like this dot first name equal to first name, and this dot last name equal to last name, and this dot mobile number equal to mobile number. So by that account builder class, we are able to initialize these fields. But what about the optional fields? How can we initialize those optional fields if we want to give the values for those optional fields like email ID and alternate mobile number? So what we will do, we will create some private methods not private, we will create some public method where what we will do, we will initialize those fields and create those methods like this. And this way we can do the initialization of these optional fields and also returning our account builder. Similarly, we can define such methods. Which one? Yeah, this. So we will create this the number and using a short form, then let's go and return this. And now what we will do, we can create one public method which will basically returning an account object and which is basically an account builder. So what exactly it will do? This method is simply creating an account object, and we can pass here this account builder. And then we will return this account. Okay, now as we can see, this is giving error. Why giving error? Because for this class we haven't defined any constructor. So let's just define a constructor. We can define one private constructor of this class where we can pass account builder reference. And this builder will used to initialize all the fields of account class, nothing else. That's it. This particular account class and account builder we have created. Let's see one more time. This account class having 5 fields. Out of these 5 fields, we have 2 fields are optional and 3 are mandatory. We have to make it final and immutable so that no one can change their values. But in that case, we want to create an object of this account class by using an account builder, not by their constructor itself. So what we will do, we have defined their constructor as private, and we used the account builder to initialize these fields. So these are not initialized directly, we can initialize by account builder. And with the account builder, we have defined all the fields as it is. The only changes we can do is that we can make simple without final those fields which are optional. So that kind of declaration will provide a leverage to change to not to initialize those fields at the time of constructor creation. Here what we will do, whatever the optional fields are there, we have created methods for that and we have initialized those, and after that initialization it will return account builder reference. And we have created one builder method where we are just simply creating an account object, passing that account builder and returning an account object. Here one thing is left only, we have to create a getter for this, not setter, so that our immutability will maintain. Let's just quickly create an getter for this. So here check that only getters, and here it is. This will create only getters for it. So now this class is ready, this builder class is ready. Let's just check by main method. Okay, now how to get those values and how to get account class as account object creation. So for that, what we will do, we will define as new account dot okay. So we haven't defined a main method over here, so we just define a main method. In this main method we will do such thing. One thing here I guess we did wrong. This need to be make it as public so that we can call it from here. Otherwise we are not able to use it the builder pattern. Okay, let's check that why it is not coming. Okay, just to review once more time. We have defined that private, this one is okay. Okay, we have defined that public class account, it is also okay. Oh, here it is. We need to call a constructor of account builder, so this can't be a private. We need to define as public so that from outside we can use this constructor to create and initialize an object of account class, right? Because account constructor is a private, so we cannot call it directly from outside. We have to use it account builder. So let's just check that. Now it is coming. Here it is. So we can just define as name like Mike dollar, and we can give the Mike mobile number as something +21 something like this, and then after if we want to initialize the other field also, then we can see we can give the email ID also in that way, like abc@gmail.com, and if you want to give the alternate number we can just give in that way. So here we can give the alternate number like 23545 something, and let's just try to initialize that account dot get alternate number, and let's just print out and see what will exactly happen. Here one more thing we have to do. For that we have to call build method, account build this. So in this way we can create an object of account class. Here you can see that this is returning the same object. We are passing in account builders alternate mobile number, and that way we can create it. And if we don't want to give these fields, then also we can create an object without these optional fields. Now this value goes null. Yeah, so that's it in builder design pattern. It is basically used to create a complex object where around many fields which are optional, and we don't want to initialize those fields or give the value for those fields when we are creating an object for that class. So that's it in this video. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe the channel. Thank you all.